What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video, and today we're looking at all the physically released shoot 'em ups for the PlayStation 4 as of April 2021. Let's check it out. Alright guys, so shoot 'em ups is somewhat subjective. What some might consider a shoot 'em up and others might not. This is my personal opinion that all these are shoot 'em ups. You got a shit ton of PlayAsia stuff here, strictly limited, a lot of limited run in here, and then also some GameStop exclusives, and then there were some that were just available at Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, all those different things. This is every shoot 'em up, to my knowledge, it has been physically released till this point. If there's something I miss, be sure to leave that in the comments below, because I do want to get them all. It is part of my collection to get all of the PlayStation 4 shoot 'em ups, because I love shoot 'em ups, and at least currently, PlayStation 4 shoot 'em ups are still somewhat accessible, unlike Sega Saturn and Genesis, and even some of the Dreamcast ones that are exclusive in Japan and that kind of stuff. PS4 shoot 'em ups, shmups, you know, they're still accessible on the PlayStation 4, which is kind of cool. And there's about 40 games here, so it's going to take a little while to get through this video. But I'm going to try to keep it short and just kind of briefly talk about each one. So let's go ahead and jump this off with Ruiner here. This got a bunch of different releases. This is the Special Reserve game one. Then there was a limited run one, which was through Special Reserve. There's not a lot of copies of this. It's limited to a few thousand, if I'm not mistaken. There was a cool... Actually, you know what? I do have the art book that it came with, but I didn't take it out. But that did come with that. This is limited run right here. This is the 80K collection, which is an SNK collection. There's 5 games on here. The reason it is a shoot 'em up is because it has Twinkle Star sprites on here. So I mainly got it for that, but it also has some other SNK games on there. Here's a limited run game. This is Caladrius Blaze. This did come out physically on the 360 originally. That's where a lot of people probably own it, but I wanted the PlayStation 4 version because it's in 1080p instead of 720p. Yada yada yada. This did get, you know, came out from limited run. This was one of their earlier releases. This is pretty old at this point. Here's another limited run game. This is Sekino Rondo 2. This came out quite a while ago. That's kind of more of a battle shoot 'em up. So like the No Rondo, I guess, is the subgenre of that game. But there's like, you almost have two ships, and they kind of battle each other with shmups, and it's like a weird. It's very unique. It's very interesting. Grab that if you can. There's one on the 360 as well. This is arguably probably one of the greatest game covers of all time, and the game is absolutely fantastic. And I just got this very recently. This Freedom Finger. Look at that. It reminds me of Malcolm in the Middle for some reason. He's got like the 90s spiky hair. I totally had that when I was a kid. And this honestly looks like my little cousin. Really great game right there. It's also available on the Switch. I did have it for the Switch, but I sold it because I like the PlayStation 4 shoot 'em ups better. Here is Stardust Galaxy Warriors. This was strictly limited. This came in 2 variants. The red variant, which is the one I just thought it looked cooler, and then the other one where all the mechs are like, you know, colored in with their normal colors. Here is a GameStop exclusive. This one I kind of predict might be a little rare down the line, because not a lot of people talk about this. Not a lot of people know about this. Man, look at that piece of dust flying around. The Badass. This is Hellmutt, the Badass from Hell. So this is a isometric shoot 'em up. It's the graphics are not like super great, but like that's kind of what they went for. It's a pretty cool game. It honestly is. If you could still find this, it's like $15 used and $20 new at GameStop. Here's definitely one of my prized possessions in my collection and in my shoot 'em up collection in general, and that's Griffinite Epic. This is the strictly limited second release they ever did. To this date, I think I have every single release they've done. I really love Strictly Limited. They're by far my favorite limited company. This is their release number 2. This is the out of 999, this is number 46 that I have. This is definitely one of my prized possessions. I actually even have the aluminum card that you could purchase as well. I think they made 100 of those, maybe 99 of them. They're very rare. Definitely my most prized, one of top 5 prized possessions in my collection. Really good shoot 'em up too. I really like it. It's got a very beautiful 32-bit art style to it. Now, one of the main reasons that I like I've been into shmups my whole, well, not my whole life, but most of my life. But then I really got into them after I met Baltimore Retro Gaming. John, he really got me into him. And the reason I bring him up is he always kind of harps on this game. But for me, I kind of have like a weird soft spot for this game. I don't know why. If it's just because it's visually it looks amazing or whatnot. But that's Skyforce Anniversary. This limited run. For me, this is definitely one of the better looking shoot 'em ups on the PlayStation 4, which isn't always a selling point because shoot 'em ups is a cool genre because you might get a 16-bit then a 32-bit game. You might get a beautiful looking game, then you might get like a Second no Rondo where it's kind of like its own entity where you like shit battle each other. And that's what's cool about shmups and why I said it's kind of broad term what people consider shmups because there's so many different things in the subgenre of shmups anyway. But this is Skyforce. Beautiful looking game. Very hard. This was originally a iPhone game. Here's a really cool one here. This is actually pretty not well known, or at least not talked about a lot. And that's Riddle Corpse EX. This is a twin stick shooter. Again, very cool, like isometric view to it, and you could still pick this up very cheap, very cheap. Here's one that, this one's gonna surprise a lot of people when it's known that this is rare. I don't know why that's in there. This goes into a different game case. This is 999 copies of this as well, and that's Ice Cream Surfer. So this one's really funny because we were all little kids at one point. Doesn't matter if you were a boy or a girl. Most of us, well, presumably most little kids don't like eating vegetables when they're a kid. So on this game, you ride on an ice cream cone and you fight vegetables with faces and stuff. So it's a really fun little game. Here's one that I got at Too Many Games. I guess it would have been 2019. I guess would have been, yeah, it would have been 2019 because it was pre-corona. That was Asta Breed. So unfortunately, this limited run here. This did not get. I don't have the card or any of the extra crap that they would have given because I bought this from limited run at Too Many Games. Really glad to have it. Again, this is kind of its own little thing in the shoot 'em up genre. It is a shoot 'em up for sure. It's like I wouldn't even call it a bullet hell. It's kind of its own thing. It's like transforming and this and that, but a beautiful looking game. Really, really good looking game. Okay, so here's two that to me are really under the radar, and they're only on the PlayStation because they're from Housemarque, who you'll now know if you're watching this video, just released Returnal. Housemarque is one of my favorite developers of all time. They just make great shoot 'em ups. They are the people that did Resogun. They're the people that did Stardust. And then here's two that actually came out physically, and you're gonna have to get these from Play Asia. These are Chinese English, copies, but they play in English. Matterfall. Damn, is this a good looking game, brother? That is a good looking game. Really fun too, very fun game. And then Alienation. Is this Matt? Yeah, this is Housemarque. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident it is. That one definitely is, and I'm pretty sure this is. Resogun is a shoot 'em up that I always wished we got physically. I guess at this point it's probably too late, but it is on the PS3, the PS4, the Vita, and then I guess obviously you can play it on your PS5 digitally, but either way. Now here's where I say it gets kind of subjective on shoot 'em ups. This was released in all the the big box stores. This is Assault Suit Leonis. You can still find this pretty cheap. This is a re-release of a Sega Saturn classic shoot 'em up. It's more of like a, I mean, to me it is a shoot 'em up. So again in the comments correct me down below, but to me I would consider this a shoot 'em up. You can still find this game dirt cheap. It's a really fun game. Very difficult, but it's kind of a cool thing that could get you into shoot 'em ups for very cheap if you're trying to get into them. Now this one also took me a long time to find. I don't have the little art card. Actually, no, this was pre-art cards on limited run. This is Aqua Kitty Milk Mine Defender. Now one thing that kind of annoys me is they have a UX version for the Switch, which is like the Ultimate Edition. It never got physically released. It has like all the DLC and this and that. So this is just the basic bare bones copy, but there's no way I guess limited run knew they were going to do that, but at least it's still a physical copy. This was a very early release from Strictly Limited. This is Gundamonius. Very beautiful game here. Baltimore Retro Gaming, I know he loves this one for sure. Really, really good game here. Didn't make a lot of copies of that either. Now here's one that I'm kind of bittersweet that I bought this. It's not. It's probably my least favorite shoot 'em up of all time, and then definitely on my PS4 least favorite shoot 'em up, and that's the LSD Collection. This is just the standard. I didn't go for the limited because I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy these. I might be looking through them through not rose tinted glasses, but in the sense that like I guess my expectations were a little high. These are Game Gear shoot 'em ups in a collection for the PS4, and I was just really expecting too much from this collection. It did come with a cool little Game Gear mini thing for the limited edition. But for me, these games just really aren't very good. They're not terrible, but they're just really not very good. So I would avoid this one, personally. Here's a really cool one. This was at all the big box stores. This is Aces of the Luftwaffe Squadron Extended Edition. Really great shoot 'em up here. Really surprisingly fun, and you can still find this very cheap. Again, a good entry into the shoot 'em up genre. Now here's one. I believe this did get a limited edition. I did not get the limited. Unfortunately, I didn't get it in time. This is also Housemarque as well. This is Nex Machina. This was one of their relatively a while ago. This came out in 2017 release. Very good, bullet hell, fast action, shoot 'em up type game. Very good game. I really love this one. And again, Housemarque, man, they just make some beautiful ass games. They're like the Polyphony Digital of the shoot 'em up genre. They just extract that hardware to give you some beautiful visuals. Okay, here's a really good one from I believe that this is Strictly Limited again. I love Strictly Limited, but definitely one of my favorite shmups of all time, and definitely on the PlayStation 4. That's Steridon Binary Stars. This was their 8th release. Beautiful, beautiful. I would almost say like 20-bit. Like it looks better than 16-bit. I guess it's 16-bit, but it's because it's in HD that it like looks super sharp and crisp. Beautiful game, great soundtrack, really good level design and that kind of stuff, and bosses and everything. Here's one that's quite rare, and this actually belongs in here. This is Full Blast. They made 999 copies of this. It has a cool art design to it. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible shoot 'em up, but I don't know. But here's a little what do they call these? Dog tag. That came with the other game that I pulled that out of for whatever reason, but it goes with that game. It's a Full Blast dog tag. This is limited run here. This is Earhart. This is a recent release. I don't remember how many of these they made. It has like a map in here, and it actually has a pretty decent strategy or instruction booklet with pictures and art design and all that kind of stuff in there. I don't know. I've played this once, I think, and I need to get back to some of these. I have so many shmups that I just don't, frankly, have time to play them all the time, even though I like shmups because they're so quick to play, yet I don't have time to play them all the time. This is the only Japanese physical release that I still own, because as soon as the American version comes out, I sell off my Japanese copy because I'm American. I'd rather have the American copy, but otherwise I get the Japanese copy until then. This is Death Tiny. I don't know what the rest of this name is. This would be a good question for Baltimore Retro Gaming. He's the one that actually turned me on to this game. I'm pretty confident in saying this is his favorite shoot 'em up. He definitely used to stream this one a shit ton. He loves this shoot 'em up. I know that for a fact. Here's one that you could get in the stores at all the big box stores. A very good shoot 'em up, a long running franchise, and that's Raiden. This is Raiden 5 Director's Cut. You could still get this very cheap. Again, another good entry into the shoot 'em up genre if you're trying to get in on the cheap. This is Syvaria Delta. I think this is 2 games, or is it 1? Yeah, this is no, maybe it's not. It's been a while since I played this one. So this was, you had to order this from the website. This is the lenticulate or shiny holographic cover, I guess you would call that. I remember being kind of disappointed by this one, and I waited forever for this one. This took, and I think this was pre-corona, and this still just took forever to get to me. Yeah, this was 2018. And this just took it seemed like 3 months to get it in the mail, and I was so irritated by it because bro, the Atlantic Ocean is not that big, and it took like 3 months to get to me. Hyper Sentinel. This was strictly limited. This is quite a while ago. This came out. I haven't actually played this one a ton. It's kind of its own little thing where you can kind of like go back and forth on the screen and stuff, and it's not a great shoot 'em up. Now here's one that's kind of, I guess, controversial, you could say. I like this one. A lot of people don't like this one. This could be found at all the big box stores, and that's Synmor EX. Still very easy to find. For me, very visually good looking game. Very difficult though. It is a very difficult game. I will say that. So let me move all these standard editions out of the way, and then we will jump into some of the bigger stuff. Well, actually, all this is the big stuff at this point. Here we go. Here we got, this is Strictly Limited's big boxes that they did. This is Sisters Royale. I'm Being Harassed by Five Sisters, and it Sucks edition. Not a terrible game, but not a great game. I've talked about this a few times here recently with pickups and other different videos, but it's okay. It's an okay game. Let's see. Then we have this one. This is the Vasara collection. Now, out of all the big boxes, I don't know why. I guess it's just the blue. Blue's my favorite color. There's just blue all over my house. And my car's Smurf blue as well. But I just love the color blue, so in the flame of that, and then like the hand drawn of the black and white on there. I don't know. This one just looks the coolest on the shelf. As for the games, I haven't played them enough to judge it, but you know, they're nothing. It's nothing that really just sucks me back in to keep playing them. So I'm not going to say they're bad, but I haven't played them a ton. I'll say that. This is R-Type Dimensions EX. These were exclusive on the PlayStation 3 for a long time, like on the PSN, and then they finally got a physical release. Nice little collection here, and yeah. Let's see here. So this is quite special to me. This is Zeno Crisis for the PlayStation 4. I as well own the Genesis version and the Dreamcast version. I backed this game at a very high cost price. I think I backed it at like $250. I remember just seeing it. I occasionally go on to what's the funding website, Kickstarter. I occasionally just go on there maybe once a month and just kind of look at the things that are on Kickstarter, or if something pops up on Twitter. I remember seeing this, and I was just blown away by it, by the art style, the music, the character design, all the enemies, the sprites, all of it. The amount of detail that went into making this game is... And I am actually an NPC that you can rescue in the game. So Dat Game Collector is an NPC you can rescue in this game. I really I've yet to find myself in the game because the game is fucking difficult. My God, is it difficult. But it's a really beautiful looking game. I like playing it on all the different consoles. It's fun to play it on the Dreamcast, the Genesis, PS4. I actually have it digitally on the Switch as well. And on my PC as well. I really went hammer time with this. Really great game. Really, really great game. Hopefully they made enough money to make a sequel to it one day. Now this one is... These next two are kind of subjective, but I'm going to throw them in here. This is Gungor and Cannoli. This is the DeCapo edition, so it's got 1 and 2 in here. It's kind of a shoot 'em up, but kind of not. I don't know. I mean, that's why I said it's subjective, but I figured I'd throw this in here into the video. Very good games, though, whether you consider them a shmup or not. They're very good. And then we got Ultra Core here. Again, kind of subjective. I don't know if people consider this a shmup. It was a Genesis game that was unreleased. Now it's released. It kind of is. It kind of is. I just love the strictly limited releases that they do. The big boxes are just phenomenal. Now, here's the Darius Cosmic console and arcade edition. So this was limited to, I want to say, 500 copies. So it's quite rare. It's either 500 or 1,000, and this comes in this nice big box. And then that's the guy you get. And there's a nice, really nice hardcover art book in here and everything. I'm trying to keep this relatively short because I know people kind of generally hate long videos. So, but there's just so many games here to cover that I can't pull out all the little knickknacks that come in these boxes, although that would be cool. Maybe I'll do a second video if you guys want to see that. This is Battlegrega Revision 2016. This is the big box from Limited Run. This originally came out physically only in South Korea, which you could import from PlayAsia, which I did have at one point, and then I sold it to get this, and I'm very grateful to have this. This is definitely one of the more prized possessions in my collection. This isn't really talked about a lot, but it's still just as rare as the Sega Saturn version, and it's still... You can get this big limited one cheaper than you can get the Sega Saturn one, which is kind of funny to think about, because this is like jam-packed. There's 4 records in there. There's all sorts of knickknacks and stuff in there. Then this is the Game Paradise Cruisin Mix Special. This one is really cool too. I actually have a Switch version of this coming as well because I really love this game. And really nice job from Limited Run on this. Alright, so then we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We're at 20 minutes, so I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We got 2 stacks of PlayAsia shmups, and then we are done. Actually, these first 3 are not actually PlayAsia, but the rest of it is. This is Tenho, Gensho, Rondo, Bullet Ballet. So this is somehow in the same universe as Sekino Rondo. It's the same thing where you're like battling, but then you're like these little girls. And yeah, Japanese people, man, sometimes y'all do some weird stuff with the huge cleavage. It's just unnecessary sometimes, in my personal opinion. It's like sometimes it's tasteful, but sometimes it's just unnecessary. And then like with the little girls all the time, like, can someone explain to me why the Japanese creators are obsessed with like putting little girls into things? Like, it kind of makes me feel a little strange buying things like this sometimes. But I love shmups, so I was willing to give them a shot. I found this pretty recently actually, and this is kind of it's not super rare by any means, but like not a lot of people know that this exists. So if you see this, definitely grab it. This came out in all the big box stores, but it didn't get a very big print run. Now here's another limited run here. This is Super Hydra. I had the standard edition in the last video of the 2018 version of this. This is the limited edition, which I did end up inevitably buying because I really like this game and I wanted to have the limited edition of it. So I sold off the other copy. Now here is Ikaruga. This was Nicalis. This got released in all the big box stores, but it was a very small print run in typical Nicalis fashion. They had a standard and a limited. This is also available on the Switch, but obviously PlayStation 4. Now the rest of this is all PlayAsia stuff. I love PlayAsia as well. They make, again, they have a standard format for their releases, and I love it because it always comes with the soundtrack, a nice big box, and then a nice wrap that comes around it to keep it protected. So very good releases that PlayAsia does, and they're very affordable too. Like, and then they finally do like good shipping now, because a long time it used to take like a month or 2 to get the games, and then it was like expensive as hell. And I live in Maryland, so it would have to come from Japan to California, and then like over to across America. And then now it's either free or very reasonable. If I can't remember exactly, but this is Rime 9000. Very interesting shoot 'em up. Very cool, unique visuals to it, and then obviously it's a rhythm-based shoot 'em up type thing. It's a really cool game. Defenders of Ekron, pretty cool game. Interesting concept, different and unique shoot 'em up. This is again, this one's kind of subjective. It's kind of its own little thing in the shoot 'em up genre. Beautiful looking game here. This is XMorph Defense. Really good looking game, and this has all the DLC and everything on the disc. So really cool. Here's another cool one for it's kind of like RPG elements to this one. This is Black Sea Odyssey for the PlayStation 4. It's like space pirates, and it's got like some RPG elements of like leveling up stuff. Kind of cool. Here's one of the very first releases from PlayAsia. This is Blue Rider, twin stick shoot 'em up. I absolutely love this game. This was one of the earlier games that really kind of made me like, oh man, I really want to get all these PlayStation 4 shoot 'em ups, and then so I started grabbing them up at this point. This is a very recent release. This is Project Starship X. Really good shoot 'em up here. Really good. Very recent, but pretty good. Here's again sort of subjective. This is Rive. This is a very early release for PlayAsia as well. You're kind of in like this little tank. It's a very funny game too. The banter that goes on and between the the characters and everything. Yeah, I would say it's a shoot 'em up. I would. Okay, so here's a really cool one. This is black and white, and you're in like a submarine and stuff. This is Earth Atlas. And you fight like aquatic life and everything. It's a very cool shoot 'em up. Really, definitely unique. Let's slide these over here. I'm right-handed, so we'll do that. This is Shikahando. Really good shoot 'em up here. I really enjoy this one. This it has like a rock and roll soundtrack to it, and it's a bullet hell. the bosses is like a double stage thing where you fight them and then they like go Super Saiyan kind of, and then they come back with a vengeance. It's a really good shoot 'em up. You can This is the kind of shoot 'em up that I like, where you can just it's not super difficult. It's very fun. It's got great music, and you can kind of just breeze through it in like 20 or 30 minutes. And it's like a good, like, you got to go do something, you want something quick to play. That's why I love shoot 'em ups. And this one, I have not actually played this one yet. This pretty recent release is Parumi from PlayAsia. So I can't really comment on that one. This one I have played. This is an NG dev team. Really wish that we could get Krautbuster. That would be like the piece of resistance on the PlayStation 4 if we could just get Krautbuster physically released, which is more of a Metal Slug type game. This is Fast Striker on the PlayStation 4. Visually, it's very Neo Geo looking because it is a Neo Geo game ported to the PlayStation 4. Pretty good music, pretty good game. Yeah, so that's Fast Striker. This one, kind of a meh. This is the Tachyon Project. It's not a bad game, but nothing super out of the park there. This one, I do love this one. This is Ghostblade HD. Probably, definitely one of my top 5 on the PlayStation 4, and definitely top 10 favorite shoot 'em ups of all time. I really love this one. This is on a lot of consoles, and if you like want to try this one out and you have like a modded Dreamcast, you can just get a ROM of that on the Dreamcast and play it that way. But this is worth the money. This is a really good, beautiful shoot 'em up. I really love this one. Definitely a really good one. Dimension Drive. This is a cool one. One thing that did annoy me, and PlayAsia finally realized it and stopped doing it, they used to send out these big postcards, and luckily it fits into the slipcover, but it doesn't fit into the box, which kind of annoys me. I like to put everything into the box. But yeah, this Dimension Drive. All right, we're going to save this one for last, because I really love this last one. This Hybroxia II. I did play this. This is... I guess you would call this a twin stick shoot 'em up, and it kind of, yeah, I guess it's a twin stick shoot 'em up. This is a very recent release. Really like this one from what I've played. I haven't played a ton of it, but a very good so far of what I've played. Now this one, shoo! All right, so quick story. Limited run games. This is the last game here. I like limited run games. I was one of the early adopters because I've been collecting games since I was 12 years old. I'm going to be 32 at the end of this year. So about 20 years I've been collecting games. I did it before it was kind of cool. That's why I have such a vast collection of games for so many consoles, because like I got most of this stuff before it was expensive. And I only really collect the things that I like. Like a lot of collectors kind of collect things that they do or don't like, and they just kind of have a clutter and flutter on their shelf. I would say a strong 95% of the games on my shelf are things that I've either beat, going to beat, or like just absolutely love to death. But my point being on that is limited run. They sometimes do some shit that pisses me off. One thing that really irritated me way back in the day was this game, and it was Synmor EX for the PlayStation Vita. I couldn't get a copy of it for the Vita, and I really, really wanted it. PlayAsia finally started doing their shoot 'em ups. Synmor EX was one of their first games that they did, and it was on the Vita. And then I got the Vita copy, then I fell in love with PlayAsia, and for a while I stopped buying limited run games from them directly because I just didn't want to give them my money. But long story short, I eventually sold my Synmor EX for the Vita because it finally came out for the PlayStation 4 via PlayAsia. And this is Synmor EX Final Prototype Definitive Edition. I love this game. Absolutely love this game. The first one can be had digitally on the PC, physically on the PC, and digitally on the PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 3 rather. So definitely grab that one while you still can. This is Synmor EX Definitive Edition. I absolutely love that. Again, top 5 shoot 'em up for me for the PlayStation 4, and definitely top 10 of all time for me. Just, I don't know, just the level design, the music, the boss fights, everything in that game, it just works for me, and it's a really beautiful game. It really is. Now with that edition, you get a few extra levels and that kind of stuff. So we kept that down to just about 30 minutes, guys. So if you learned something, or if you have some shmups to add to this that I don't have, I have a ton of stuff on pre-order as well. I'll probably do another one of these in a year or two when PlayStation 4 is finally done and all the physical releases for shmups are over. And I'll make that a nice edition with all the numbers and this and that like I did with the first one. But I wanted to keep this one relatively short. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below. And as always, peace out for now. Till next time, guys.
Come here, you mother...